Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are now listening to Championship on the Line podcast, and today we have a very special episode, a special guest here today. He's been doing a lot of amazing things from Championship Wrestling Hollywood. Recently he's managing Levi Shapiro, who is the current United Television Champion, also managing Honest John and Anthony Idol. Is the group, the bad group right now, the baddest group in Championship Wrestling Hollywood, managed by the best manager in the world. He is the pride of the Price Check Ranch, the stash that earns the cash, the smile that goes for miles, the charging bull with the golden horns. Howdy Price, ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy.
Oh, that was good. I was trying to be like you.
I appreciate it. That was pretty good. The howdy was pretty decent, and I mean, you do a heck of a lot better than Adnan. That's why I shove him every time. He needs to say my name with more prestige, like you do.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot coming from you, man. You're the master of doing that, man. So I'm just trying to be like you.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. There's only one Howdy Price, but as long as you can be yourself and do a pretty good, decent howdy, then you're doing fine. You're doing fine.
Awesome. But once again, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with us, man. We're honored to have you on. Real quick, if you don't mind, it's a segment we like to do with every guest. We like to ask a little bit of fun questions just for the fans to get to know you a little bit better. Is that cool? We do that for you?
Absolutely. Go right ahead. I'm an open book.
All right, awesome. So the first question, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, wow, that is a good one. Well, my favorite movie of all time, I'm a bit of a film buff, on top of every other kind of buff that I am. I'm going to have to say my favorite movie of all time is Death Rides a Horse. Now, Death Rides a Horse is a 1960s Italian Western starring Mr. Lee Van Cleef, also known as the Bad and Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And it's a standard revenge Western. And it's really good. The soundtrack is amazing. The atmosphere is really good. And you can watch it for free on YouTube. If you can't take your DVD player with you or your Blu-ray, you can just pop it up on YouTube and it's for free.
Awesome. And with the next question, what would be your favorite TV show?
Oh, well, my favorite TV show really depends on what mood I'm in for right now. I am a bit of a comic book fan as well. I just finished MODOK on the Hulu. I thought that was a pretty good show. Fargo is another good show that I liked. I'm looking forward to the season where they actually go back to the West, because them Coen brothers, they do some Westerns from time to time. So I think that would be a good one as well. And yeah, I mean, if you like the animated stuff, I do appreciate Regular Show. Regular Show is very entertaining and reminds me of a lot of my friends back in the days when we was just wandering through the ranch and whatnot, just causing mischief.
Awesome, man. Great shows you just listed. And with the next question, what do you have, like a favorite music artist or a favorite band you like to listen to?
Yes, I do. My actual favorite singer of all time is a gentleman by the name of Lee Hazelwood. Lee Hazelwood is not necessarily straight up country, but he was a man who liked to mix his genres. So if he did a little country, western, cowboy stuff, he do it with a little rock and roll. Oh, you got another fire going. A lot of fires here. We're on land, so dry land. People who don't tend to their particular chore and whatnot. We always keep it well hydrated and green here on the Price Check Range. But yes, Lee Hazelwood. He, if you ask anybody from the previous generation, he wrote the song "These Boots Are Made for Walking." And but he has more of a deeper voice like this, and very, very wise in his ways. And even when he's being a little wacky, he's good for that too. So I recommend him. He's really good.
Cool. Awesome, man. And then with the next question, do you have any hobbies outside of wrestling? Do you have anything you like to do for fun?
Yes, I actually do enjoy drawing. I've recently picked up drawing. Me and my idiot roommate, Dino Inwood, we had just bought a bunch of art supplies uh, amongst last year because we're like, well, we're gonna be in here for a while, so we might as well try something that we normally don't do. And I started drawing a bunch of stuff here. I drew some pictures of Terry Funk. He's the greatest of all time. Drew some pictures of Stan Hansen, Bruiser Brody, Cactus Jack, all of that. And it's fun to do. You just if they don't make coloring books for the things that you want to color, then you just make it yourself and you draw it. So
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And then with the next question, if do you play by any chance, what is your favorite video game if you play video games?
well, many would think it's Red Dead Redemption, although the first one was really good. Currently, I do loves me some of that Mad Max on the PlayStation 4. That movie was very fun. I remember catching it thinking, oh, wow, it's just a Western or is this futuristic? What is this? And but they made that game, and that game is fantastic. I played through it about, I'll say 5 or 6 times. And
wow.
it's kind of it. It's so much fun. I recommend it.
Absolutely, man. Totally agree, man. Awesome game. And then for the next question, do you have a favorite types of food, favorite meal?
Oh, yes, I do. I love food. I'm a big boy. I love me some barbecue. If you got hot links on the grill, then you got Howdy Price smiling in his chair with his plate holding in his hand and whatnot. Baked beans, cornbread, all of that. It does depend on the drink though, but if I was to get a very spicy barbecue, it would have to be either a Dr. Pepper or a chill wine or an RC cola. For me, that's the fanciness on
awesome.
A good kind of Coke.
Oh, absolutely, man. Totally agree. Awesome. And then with next question, before you hit the curtains, is there any rituals you like to do before you go in?
Yes. I mean, Howdy Price is a very spiritual man. Realizing that everybody that's crossed paths in him on his old dusty trail of life, to just basically, let them know that whatever he's going to do out there, he's doing it for his best interest, for the Price Chick Ranch and his clients, and always throw the horns up to all of those legendary ones that passed in my time. So
awesome. And then with the last fun question, if you could manage any wrestler, dead or alive, retire anyone, who would it be?
Wow, anyone dead or alive, we're gonna be here a while. But I mean, there's so much great talent out there. But if I was to do a recent wrestler, it would be a bit of a coin toss. It'd be a coin toss between there's this young boy on the scene called Jody the Wrestler. He's really coming up on his time. A very smart, a very gutsy individual. And if I want to get into a little craziness to it, a little bit of a death match wrestling, I'm gonna have to go with my boy Manser. Yeah, big fan of his work. He is a wonderful wrestler, a hell of a brawler, and yeah, I think him and Howdy Price can make some money.
Oh, absolutely, totally agree. And if it makes money, it makes sense.
Absolutely, dollars, cents, pesos, Guatemalan quetzal, all that, any kind of currency that has an exchange. I'm okay to do that.
Awesome. And then recently, last year and especially this year, COVID, it's been, such a big thing. How's COVID been for you, and how difficult has it been trying to, how's it been treating for you for this year and last year?
Well, COVID has definitely impacted everybody. Not, I don't think one person has come out of it unscathed in any way, shape, or form. Here at the Price Check Ranch, we hit our hard times and stuff, but we take care of each other. Take care of my mama, my daddy, and my little sisters, my baby boys, as I call them. And we keep the house touring, we keep the walls standing, and keep ourselves fed. And it's teamwork. Everybody does what they can do to well, above all, keep sane, because you can't go stir crazy even in your own place of safety. But always wearing the masks, which is no problem for us, because we just pretend we're bandits and stuff, but we're actually paying for things. And keeping the distance, washing your hands. I mean, washing the hands is no problem, because when you're on a ranch, you best wash your hands, because there's a lot of things that you'll be handling, especially if you forget your gloves. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't been too stressful. It's been weird, to say the least. But we got our shots and everything. We got our bells and whistles we got vaccines, we got hand soaps, our sanitizers, everything. Because we just we like to be able to go some places, and we like to be able to see the people that we love, and we definitely would like to be doing some traveling, some business traveling here to see what other parts of the world that old Price Check Ranch could expand on.
Awesome. And then with, how has it been for you to come out with no crowd? How's it like working with no crowd for you?
Well, it's definitely different. I'm so used to a crowd, just so excited to see me. But it basically just dates back to any of the old times where I'd go in the barn and I'd play around and I'd pretend that I'm standing in front of just thousands and thousands of people, chanting my name, screaming my name, throwing stuff. It doesn't really matter. Like, it's, if anything, it gives people a bigger opportunity to listen to the wise words that I have to say, and gives them more opportunities to pay attention to the true stars of championship wrestling from Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. And also, tell us, because I want to get to know you a little bit better. Tell us what got it started, man. What got you into wrestling?
Yes. Well, when I was a little bull, I was just looking around on the television. I couldn't do no chores. I was just too little to do it. So I was looking around the television, and then I started finding these individuals in a big old ring, just battling it out, and they looked like my toys. I was like, what is this? Are superheroes real? And eventually, the show had ended. I'm like, what was that? That was wrestling? Okay. So my auntie Pennyworth, Pennyworth Price, she was a wonderful lady. She made me a VHS tape for my birthday. So happy birthday, Poppy, because she thought I was a little flower when I was a baby. But she put a WrestleMania 4 on there. And the first person, my first ever favorite wrestler, was Macho Man Randy Savage. And as he got further into his career, he started dressing a little more appropriately. And it definitely just blew me away. All these people gathered, and seeing these monsters, these gargantuous individuals just battling it out for this big old belt. Now, if you know Cowboys love big gold plated belts and everything else. So I'm like, I want to wear that. What can I do to get something like that into my life? And that just sort of evolved into it. My daddy, he took me to a show at the Los Angeles Sports Arena, and I was just hooked. I was like, this is real, this is legit, and I'm gonna find every way that I can to make sure that I take the family name and the family business into that. And then I come later to find out that my grandparents, my granddaddy Legendary Price, he used to take my grandmama to the Grand Olympic Auditorium to watch wrestling. They would go on dates to wrestling shows. They get all dolled up, and they go sit in those arena shows, and they just have a good old time watching the scrappings. So I'm like, this is destiny. I was meant to be a part of this. I love being the entertainer that I am. I love shining the spotlight on things that people should be watching and people should be enjoying. And so I just took it as a sign, and I've been happy ever since.
That's so cool, man. That's awesome, man. The fact that kept going, and now you're representing the Price family name, and and you're doing such a great job doing it, man. Every time I see you on TV, man, you kill it, man. And it's awesome to see you. And also, like, growing up as a kid, did you collect, like, as you can see in the back, I collect action figures. Did you ever collect the toys or even play like the video games?
Oh, absolutely. My granddaddy kind of was hoping I would get outside a little bit more, but with the advance of technology and whatnot, I couldn't help but play the video games, and I definitely had the toys. I still got some toys right now. I got a corner over there dedicated to some classic grapplers. I got my Bob Backlunds, I got my Rick Rudes, my Greg Valentines, my Wendy Richters, my Vedas, my Kurt Angles. I got my Macho Mans, and then I got my prized possessions over here. I got Kaniku Man. I love that Japanese wrestling. I love it so much. I want to go there, and I want to get a Rivera jacket, and I want to wear the bull on my back. But let me show you something real quick here. As you take a look at my wall behind me, I'm gonna grab one of my prized possessions here. Now you see those some Lucha Libre figures.
Oh yeah, the AAA.
AAA ones.
My King of the Death Match poster. And here is one of my prized possessions here for you. Let's fix the hat here. This is a Chara Pro Young Terry Funk.
Oh,
this
nice.
is my baby. And I need to dust my baby. But this was a hard one to find. Apparently, there's another version of it where he has a white hat. I need to get that one too because I love
I
Terry
think I
Funk.
got one little similar.
Oh, you do? Yes, that's the one. That's the other one. I want to get that one too because I love the hat. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
but I just love the hat, and I love that it comes with the NWA title right there.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
beautiful
it's
figure.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful. I mean, I consider it a relic, but
Oh yeah.
and then like the Dory Funk one's going for like
That one.
400 at the least or something.
I know, it's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, and but I love me some of these figures. Have you ever heard of the Legends of Professional Wrestling lineup? This is an old, like back in the 2000s, early 2000s, they did this lineup. And you could choose either between a non-bloodied
think-
legend and then a bloodied legend.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
got one over here.
There you
Yeah,
go.
one of
There you
those,
go.
yeah.
What's that? Is that the Greg Valentine? Yep,
Those Greg
that's the
Valentine,
one.
Yep.
That is the
Yep.
one. I got most
It's
of
the
them
bloody
bloody.
version.
I love them figures. I really think that they should make a new line of those figures with new legends. Like there's so many other legends
They
that they could
should,
do.
Oh, absolutely.
And then make yourself a Levi Shapiro, make yourself a Howdy Price one, make yourself a Anthony
Yep.
Idol and Alan John.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it'll sell. I know what sells, and it'll
Oh,
sell.
absolutely.
I know we would buy one right away. Alex and I
Ah,
would be
thank you.
first in line to buy those.
I'll sign it for you or something. You just send it, I'll sign it, I'll
Yeah.
send it back. But
Awesome. And then I'm just curious, what AAA figures do you have behind you?
oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I got
those.
me a La Parca and a
Ooh.
Pero Aguayo. I love Pero Aguayo. He was great. I love La Parca too, but these are the two harder ones to find. I had what was it? A heavy metal one, and I had another one,
No.
CN. I had a CN figure, and I gave it to my friends there at Junk Shop Dog. They are a wonderful service.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
'cause
buy
they
them stuff all the
sell-
time.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
They're awesome.
I was gifted these, and
Oh, okay.
I took a picture of them, and they're like, "Oh, how much are you selling it for, there, mate?" Or something like that. And I'm like, "Well, they're not for sale." But there's a couple that I would be willing to trade with, and they were very kind enough to oblige because they just had to have those. But I'm like, I'm keeping the Pero, I'm keeping the Parker, and then I sent them the CN and the heavy metal. And in exchange, they traded it for a giant Super Delphin talking figure and a few other perks. I think you can see in the back there. There's a Terry Man right next to the Pero of Wild. As well. I love Terry Man because Terry Man is basically just Terry Funk, but in a galactic wrestling kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so I was like, okay, I'll send them over to you. My first time shipping something overseas, by my own hands, and so I sent it to them and like, hey, everything came over fine. Just next time, could you just pack the box a little bit? I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I hope I didn't ruin the packaging or anything. And they're just like, no, it's fine. But now I know. You just don't bend the package.
Oh yeah, especially with like figure collecting too. If there's like a little dent or a little like scratch, man. Like
No, there's so much carefulness to it. There's very few things that I still have in the package. I still got I got the Macho Man San Diego Comic Con Slim Jim exclusive.
Oh, nice.
That one
was
is
a
nice,
gift.
yeah.
That was a gift from a friend of mine, Mr. Endless. And I have not. I've kept it out of the sunlight and everything. I got those. And then so there's just a few things that I just will not take out. But I'm usually a breather. Like I take the package off and I'm like, this is what I got it for. This is going to take up a bunch of space. So we're gonna choose our battles.
Awesome. And then is what are your thoughts on the figures today?
Well, the figures today, I do love the attention to detail. Like when they dropped the Bob Backlund one, I had to get that right away. I'm a Backlund man. Like most people like Sammartino and Flair. I was the boy who liked Backlund, and I was the boy who liked Bockwinkel. So I was the opposite side of the coin. Not disrespecting any of Sammartino and Flair. They are legends for a very good reason. It's just I got my favorites. I got my Backlund, and I got my Bockwinkel, which I would love to see a great Nick Bockwinkel action figure because I already got a good Bob Backlund action figure. So, but yeah, just all the all the recent ones that are coming out now, whether they be elite figures or the AEW ones, or you got your isn't like Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, aren't they supposed to revamp the Hasbros or something like that? I heard something around that type of rumor, but I mean, there's a lot to be said for the classic style figures, but they have definitely made some great advancements in the modern action figures today, and I'm just enjoying the heck out of it.
Oh yeah, especially like they're coming. I think the retros, the retro Hasbros. I guess what they're coming up with.
Hasbros. I think they're trying to do like an AWA Remco style.
Yep.
I think they're trying to revamp those.
Definitely are. And again, make a Price Check Rash set. It'll sell.
Oh,
toy makers out there.
I was saying, if there's toy makers listening to this, man, we need a Howdy Price figure ASAP.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go. One person that was kind enough to make a custom of me a couple of years ago. That was really nice to see. Back when I was just starting out and I wore my corduroy. But yeah, I mean, hopefully there's a future in merchandising there for old Howdy Price.
Well, absolutely. And then, like, is there any figures that are on the hunt right now? What's your checklist? Who do you want right now?
Well, I've been very fortunate. Again, my friend Endless helped me out with this, and a buddy of mine, Mr. John Marcher. They helped me find what I thought was going to be one of the hardest things to find, but I guess Target decided to listen to people saying, hey, scalpers are ruining everything. So we need a bunch of the newer figures coming out, not a bunch of AJ Styles and Bobby Heenan's and the usual figures that you see on the shelves that they just bought a complete surplus of it. But this one here, Big Van Vader.
Oh yeah,
Big Van Vader figure. This is my favorite era of Vader with the full mask. I see you got one in the back there. Yeah,
there you go.
That's my favorite version of Big Van Vader. I love that guy. The full head mask was my favorite. I think it just looked cooler. I don't know why, but it just looked. It was very Slam Masters. Remember that game, Saturday Night Slam Masters?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
It just comes out with the big helmet, like, who's the man? Stuff like that. So, love that guy.
Oh, absolutely. Totally agree with it, man. Like, that figure is, especially because with Vader, you need the mask, you need all the stuff, and it brings you back, So it's an awesome figure.
Absolutely, yeah. Glad you got one.
And also, growing up, who was your favorite manager growing up?
Oh wow. Well, there was a couple that I would watch there. Whenever I could get my hands on the footage, the Grand Wizard was a great manager. Very loud clothing. Did whatever he could to make sure that his client won. Gary Hart was another one. A man who made me fear the manager. I was scared to death of Gary Hart because that man looked like he was a demon and his fingers were going to get long and scratch your eyes out and he had the scary teeth. He looked like, well, for the youngins out there, he looked like Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. He was a spooky individual. And then you got your Bobby the Brain Heenan. Bobby the Brain Heenan, one of the fast talkers, one of the best talkers, one of the dirtiest there is, and not afraid to step into the ring, even if it meant getting his jaw knocked all the way to the back of his head. I love me some Bobby Heenan.
Oh, absolutely. The great manager you just named. And, what got you into the first steps of you being a manager? How did that come about, you managing wrestlers?
Well, Howdy Price actually wanted to be a wrestler originally. I wanted to be a scrapper. I wanted to be a brawler. I can do it. I can hold my own. I've lost my share of battles and I've won a few of them. But it just seemed right. Like, I love seeing something in an individual, and I love planning ahead with it. What can I do to run with this? What can I do to build a profit off of this? What can I do to elevate this person to bring championship gold back to the Price Check Ranch? And I just started thinking more and more as I was coming up on the scene with my idiot roommate, Dino Inwood. We was looking at talent. I was thinking, okay, what can you see in that guy? I wanted to manage Scorpio Sky, but Dino got to him before. He's a good gentleman. I I wanted to put Southern California wrestling on the map with the managing. So I just decided to bide my time. I couldn't just take anybody. And it wasn't until championship wrestling started coming along, I caught it on the TV. I saw all the talent that went through it. You got your Cesaros, your Adam Pierces, you got your Scorpio Skies again coming up in, and you got Bateman at Ring of Honor. And I was just like, wow, man, this is a place to go. So a lot of people are coming through here, and they're seeing a lot of greener pastures. So I decided to start wandering through. Luckily, I had a couple of C notes, and they let me in, and I get to wander through, asking questions, doing some probing questions, and seeing if I can lay down the foundation. And luckily, I have been very fortunate. I mean, the rest is history. That's continuously a work in progress, and it's going to be a great book, and I will sell it when I'm done.
And also tell us about your training too, because you said you were training to become a wrestler. Where did you train and how was it?
Oh, it was fantastic. Me and Dino, we trained over at this defunct wrestling school now, sadly, called the Rudos Dojo in La Mirada, California. Originally started in Santa Fe Springs, if I remember correctly. But Revolution Pro was a place that started off with a lot of people. What eventually became the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla was originally the Revolution Pro. So you got your Super Dragons, you got your Excaliburs, you got a lot of Southern California talent at that time. And yeah, we went through the training process. It was fun. They trained you in the American style. They trained you in the Lucha style. They trained you in the Japanese style. And at the time that they was making a note for themselves, they was nothing that anybody had seen at that time, because everybody was just doing the classic American style, doing the Lucha style. They weren't mixing it up well. And yeah, so my trainer was American Wild Child, and along with a Disco Machine and the occasional hand-in with Mr. Excalibur and Ultra Taro Jr. These are local names. Some you know, some you don't. And if you don't know, you should do the research. But Revolution Pro was, it was definitely a homegrown talent, a homegrown gem. And sadly, it's not around anymore. And somebody took the name in the future. I don't know who they are, but yeah, Revolution Pro was a great place, and we made a lot of friends there.
Awesome. And then when it came down to like when you made your debut, what was it like for you to come out of the curtains for the first time?
It was different. It was very, very different. I said, okay, this is not training anymore. You are gonna have to actually wrestle. Do not ruin your britches, and just try to win. So I mean, it's definitely a thrill. It's a little scary. It's definitely fun. I know for a fact, and it still goes on today. I cannot sleep the day before a show. Like I get the most 4 hours at the most, and I'm just ready to go because I'm excited. I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do today? What's today gonna hold for us? How are we gonna win? And you know, who are we gonna make a fan of today by being our wonderful self? So.
And also like being a wrestler, you know, was there any film that you'd watch on wrestlers to get inspiration on your ring style?
A lot, actually. I mean, in our time, in my time, the olden times now, there was tape trading, like legitimate video cassette VHS tapes. And we'd either go to the Frank and Sons Collectibles and City of Industry. And we'd talk to Mr. Pat Howard, Larry Rivera, and we'd get our Japanese compilations. We'd watch the Pillars. We'd watch the Territories as well. We'd either watch Misawa dropping Kawada on his head, or we'd watch Dick Murdoch drop Ted DiBiase on his head on the concrete with a brainbuster. So like it was always something else. It was a mixture of things, and whether it be from the West Coast, the East Coast, overseas, or in somebody's backyard, there's always ideas somewhere, and there's always ways to do them safer. But also there's always ways for you to do them a little more dangerous, just to the point where you get your point across and your hand raised.
And also, like, what's your favorite like style? Is like the lucha libre style, the technical style, or all of them?
It's definitely all of them, and all for a particular reason. Like lucha, as wonderful and spectacular as it is, a lot of people associate it with, you know, the arm drags and the dives and the high flying. But Lucha Libre has some of the best technical wrestling that you could find. Like if you were to put, there's a reason why you see them clips from the 70s. You see Mil Mascaras, you see Dos Caras, you see all the luchadors over there in Japan, and they're working completely different from how they wrestle over on the television in Mexico. But they are showing people what the true Lucha Libre style is, which, yes, it is flashy, but they can take you from a straight up lockup into just flipping you upside down and holding you and spreading your legs and stretching you out. And then there's the camera. Let's pose for it. Like, that's wonderful. And then you got your classic scientific wrestling. You hold the holds, trying to break down your opponent by feeling out the process and everything like that. And then you got hostile, which, I mean, I'm a sucker for hostile. I love me some classic hostile. I love the Bam Bam Gordons. I love the Steve Williamses. I love the Mike Awesomes. I love everything about it. There's just got to be something to it. You can't, not everybody needs to be Haystacks Calhoun. Not everybody needs to be Big Daddy from the overseas. Like, you know, you got to offer your own flavor to it. I mean, you take Superboy, who was a big boy, but he could fly better than anybody. And then you got your, I know a fella that used to come around championship, Mr. Johnny Yuma. He loved him some Mabel, some Viscera, and Viscera threw one of the best kicks I'd ever seen from a gentleman that size. And you got your Yokozunas and your John Tentas. They all had their own flavor to it, but they were still big boys and could not be easily moved. So I loved professional wrestling. So if I were to say a particular style, I will just say wrestling is my favorite style because there's always something different. There's always something to offer, and you're gonna find something wonderful in a type of division or genre of it that you look for.
Oh, absolutely, man. 100% agree with you. And like going back, is there any like favorite matches you like to watch? What would be your favorite matches of all time for you?
Well, my favorite matches to watch, I guess I could do like a top 3. Let's do a top 3. If I did it 5, I'll be here a long time. But so number 1 is Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio at Halloween Havoc. To me, that is the best Rudo Technico match that you could put in American style. Some of the most insane maneuvers for back then and even now. Another one would be anything of Kaientai DX versus Grand Hamada, Grand Naniwa, Great Sasuke, or Super Delphin from Michinoku Pro. Now, those of you who don't know, Kaientai was, you know, a group and not just 2 people of Funaki and Taka. You had your Men's Teo, you had your Dick Togo, you had your Shirinu, which was, I believe, Kaz Hayashi under the mask. He was like a youngin', so they had to put him under a mask. But you watch any of them tag matches from Michinoku Pro, just type Kaientai DX versus Michinoku Pro, you will get tag matches with spots and speed and storytelling that honestly, I mean, what is elite when compared to Michinoku Pro? Michinoku Pro has not been touched yet by this current generation. And when that day comes, I will straight up compare it. But that was what we were watching to get fast. That was what we was watching to get the story across. And honestly, you are in for an exciting matchup. You think the barely legal 6-man tag in ECW is something? Whoo! That's not even half of what you do. Look up Michinoku Pro. It's incredible. And then number three, believe it or not, is Cactus Jack versus Wing Kanumara. I believe it was either, if it was Wing or FMW, but there was a barbed wire and plate of glass death match. This is my favorite Cactus Jack death match of all time. And because it's to the point where you hear Cactus getting completely frustrated with himself. He drops the complete madman persona and is just straight up swearing and cussing and everything because he can't put down this Wayne Kanumara. And this is right after he won the King of the Deathmatch title at the tournament. So it's definitely worth checking out for. FMW is a great promotion.
Oh, absolutely, man. All those matches you just named, man. For the listeners out there, recommend definitely check those out because all those matches you just named are awesome, especially like the Michinoku Pros. Like you said, there was speed and then the storytelling too. Like it was so good at, and a lot of people don't know about it. That's like the shame about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a shame, but I feel me and Dum Dum's what I call my roommate. We constantly feel that since there is so much to offer and so much that we now have at the touch of our fingertips, we could literally just
Yeah, that's
look
true.
right now
Yeah,
and pull up any and all of those matches. You just got to look for it. Like if you ever wondered what your favorite wrestler or what any other wrestler would watch, you do the research. Like hashtag do the research, because that's why I love what Eddie Kingston does. He mentions the pillars and his inspirations and stuff like that. I love that Walking the King's Road program that they do on the YouTube, and because it's telling the history of it, the stories of it, and there's a lot in professional wrestling that offer more than just your standard. I don't like you. I'm gonna go ahead and I want to fight you for the title, and we're just gonna do this really boring like. And especially with women's matches, like, oh, I'm pretty. No, I'm pretty. We're gonna fight. No, women in Japan and women in Lucha, they are some of the baddest individuals you do not want to cross. Like legit, what the heck is a diva? A diva does not exist in any of those countries. If they look good, it's because they want to look good. They want their looks to be either a distraction or just a reflection of what their spirit is like. But once they get into that ring, they murder each other. They literally throw themselves on the top rope and just fall to the ground, hoping that they hit their opponent. They are dumping each other. They are just diving off of everything. And let me tell you, man, that there is so much that professional wrestling has to offer, whether it be your characters, whether it be your lucha libre, or whether it be your straight up serious scientific shudo style. Professional wrestling is so wonderful in such a gigantic bubble of flavor. There's not a single definition of it, I feel. And in case some people are not buying what I'm saying, if it takes a certain type of convincing, let me go ahead and put on these glasses here. You got to pay attention here. You got to look for the things on the YouTube, and you got to find what they're looking for. Okay, enough of those. I feel dirty, but just watch wrestling. Enjoy wrestling, recommend wrestling, but never, ever, ever feel that your type of wrestling is better than anybody else's, because I guarantee you, it's the same type of wrestling. Your serious Minoru Suzuki, he wrestled Mecha Mummy. Your Shinsuke Nakamura, your king of strong style, who just took a crown from Baron Corbin. That man was led to the ring by professional pole dancers and had the swagger of any type of rock star that you can think of. Your Mick Foley's, he did crazier stuff than just getting thrown off the top of a cage. That man punched fire. That man lost an ear. Like anything that you can think of. You want to see dives over exploding barbed wire? Wrestling has done that, and it's out there for you to watch. You want to see something that neither of the Young Bucks have done? You go ahead and you look over the big junior heavyweight boom of the mid-90s, especially with Michinoku Pro. I can't stress that enough, because that's how amazing it is. That's like telling someone, oh my God, I just had this food. It's incredible. Oh, well, then that's probably not better than my mother's cooking. No, it's way better than your mother's cooking, but it's different. That's what you like. But I want to share this with you. Let's share. We're not tape trading anymore. Let's share the links. So share the links and enjoy professional wrestling, because it is for everybody. And a lot of people need to remember that.
Oh my! First off, man, I want to cheer, man. That's I want to talk to that. Oh my God, that was so well said, man. I totally agree, 100%, man.
Yeah,
100%. It's the truth, It's the truth, and man, that I don't know if I can even come back with that, man. That was awesome.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's just it's passionate, and I always feel that there's a way that you can be passionate about things without being so hostile about it. Like, you got to show the love for the things that you love, not show the hatred for things that other people like. So.
Oh, absolutely. And especially like when Rich and we talk to our friends, especially we have friends that never really watch wrestling, but we'll show them, and because there's people that we meet and they don't want to share wrestling because it's for them. They rather keep it for themselves. And it's like, no, man, show it to everyone, man. Wrestling's for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And talking about, like you said, you trained to be a wrestler, you wrestled. What was it like the transition from being a wrestler to a manager? How was that for you?
It was fun. I mean, let me tell you, I can do a much better promo putting over my talent than I can do in a shooting star press. So, I mean, there's just things that you do stronger than others. And a lot of times it can be disappointing and you can be sad about it, or you can focus on the strengths and let the world know that you have something different to offer and you can do it with the greatest of your ability and it will reflect in your work. So just never give up a dream, especially when the dream of professional wrestling doesn't want you to be done with it. It's just you're not meant to do this, but you are meant to do something else. And so the transition of wanting to be a wrestler, but then becoming a manager and whatnot, it was just no problem because I knew that I offered more than just one thing to professional wrestling. Because I love professional wrestling, I wanted to make every aspect of it. Some people come up to me, they ask for merchandise ideas, I give it to them. Some people ask me for notes, and I tell them, all right, that's good. You're not Price Check Ranch quality just yet, but you're growing into it. I mean, there's just it's been great. It's been wonderful.
And it's been wonderful watching you on Hollywood
Yeah.
for sure, with especially the promos and everything you do. One thing I wanted to ask you, especially you, how did you come up with saying, howdy, if you got no money, don't say howdy? Like, where did that come up? Because that's one of my favorite lines. Like, I love when you say it. Like, I mean, for the listeners out there, can you give us a
You
little
want
bit?
me to sing?
No, just that little part.
Oh, wait, you want me to just sing the first line of my song?
No, the whole part.
Oh, you want me to do the whole song? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a very rare opportunity. I'll bill you later. I go, well, it's the standards of the Price family there because, we're all about certain things. There's got to be a payoff for your services. If you're good at something, never do it for free. And so, therefore, if you got no money, don't say howdy. If you got no honeys, don't say howdy. This is the most important one. If you're a big dummy, do not say howdy. But if you want a great howdy, come say howdy, because we at the Price Family Ranch, we offer great deals. Now you can either take the deal or you can deal. So, I mean, that's just how it is. If you want to do business, if you want to talk business, we either have a deal or you're going to have to deal. So.
And when did it come? When did it come about you writing it? How long did it take you to write that little part?
Well, when I first started singing it is as soon as I took my first step. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, just you don't, because I feel that if you are truly good at something, if you believe in yourself, if you believe that what you are going to show the public is so true, you need to have the confidence in yourself and your ideas. Now, I'm a boy. The Price Check Ranch is a very magical part of the world. It covers a lot of territory. So when I was a baby and I was at my Auntie Pennyworth's, she would watch the TV and I'd see Cal Worthington on there.
Yeah.
If you want a great deal, Pussy Cow. No, it's Ghosty Cow. But we always thought it was that on the other side. But the man had a jingle. He looked good too. That was a sharp dressed individual. And he was walking with a tiger and everything, and with a baby seal and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what is this guy's? He's a friend of animals, and he has a bunch of cars, and he's making money off of it. This is fantastic. And so my auntie, she would never change the channel whenever he came on. And I'm like, ooh, it's Cal Worthington. So that was a really big inspiration for me as a little boy. And yeah, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna be on the TV for the first time. People are gonna know my name, and so I got to give them something that buzzes in their ear every time they see me. I don't like to call it a worm. Worms are slimy. I'm not slimy, but I'm definitely worth all the buzz. So I got to come up with something that buzzes in their ear whenever they see Howdy Price, and that was my jingle, my theme song.
Oh, absolutely. Especially like when you come out too, singing it, like, how to get people angry. You know how to get people to boo, because every time you come out, people are booing, and it's like right there, like
I don't know what's wrong with them. Yeah, that's crazy.
And like what you're doing is like you're doing your job. You're making it, and you do it so well and perfectly. And when it comes to it, you now you're working with Levi Shapiro. How's that relationship been working with him?
Levi has been not one hurdle in the way. He has been 100% one of the best individuals that I've worked with. No guff, all business, and he believes that what I do for us is the best thing to do. And if there's any reason that I get stuck in a situation, he knows how to get out of it. And if there's any situation that he gets in, I know how to get him out of it. It's definitely one of the best and perfect partnerships that I've ever had to deal with in my career in business or in professional wrestling. I think Levi Shapiro is probably one of the finest individuals that I've ever come to represent. And I have no problem being the envy of anybody else who has not been able to get a client like it.
Mm-hmm. And also, you got two more clients. You got Anthony Idol and Honest John.
Yes, my latest two acquirements. Anthony Idol, I always saw something in him, but there was just not that guidance, and I needed to test him. I needed to see if he had what it took to become a member of the Price Check Ranch. Now, granted, he couldn't. When presented with the golden opportunities, the better man won, and he respects that and understands that. But that doesn't mean that the opportunity stopped for him. And so I offered my hand. He shook it. We made a deal, and it's going to be greener pastures for him. Now, Honest John, he's learning. I see myself in that boy. He's got the drive. He's got the ambition. Sometimes a little too ambitious, but it's okay because you got to learn how to crawl before you can walk, and you got to learn how to walk before you can charge. And so there is a process to this. And I honestly think that if Honest John just listens and learns, then he can also go home with some championship gold. He could become a gold holder representative for the Price Check Ranch.
And is that the goal for Idol and John, is to be the tag team champions? Is that what you're pushing for both of those guys?
Well, I mean, what is a goal for any professional wrestler, whether they be single or tags? I mean, you can look pretty, you can sit pretty, but you'd look a lot prettier with a championship belt. And honestly, I mean, I think the championship belts would definitely look good on them. We already got the United Television. We could go after the Heritage. We could go after the tag team. We could go to other territories and take their gold too. Because, that's the confidence that we have, and that's the certainty that we have here at the Price Check Ranch.
Absolutely, man. And especially with like Levi Shapiro, like I saw him wrestle live a couple years ago, and he's gotten so much better, and he's looking so good. I remember I watched his last match against Cartwright, even though it was a draw, but it was such a great match,
It
Levi's, and even though it's a draw, Levi is still the champ.
Exactly. This one scrappy character on the Twitter decided to message me when I was celebrating with a couple of chuckles typed out on my page. But he said there's no winner and no loser. He's absolutely right. There was no winner. That no winner was Cartwright, and the non-loser was Levi Shapiro, still your United Television champion. So, I mean, that's just all there is to it. There's the truth in the tape, and I'll watch that tape over and over again because I know that the right individual definitely did not lose, and the right individual definitely did not win.
Absolutely. And then, right now, as of now, what are the goals for Howdy Price? Where would you like to go outside of Hollywood? Would it be NWA? Like, where would you want to go?
Howdy Price and the Price Check Ranch want to go wherever there is money to be printed, because I guarantee you, the second that you offer a piece of paper with a blank line for us to sign on, you're going to need a new money printer because you're going to run out of ink from all the money that we're going to be printing. Because Howdy Price and the Price Check Ranch, Levi Shapiro, Anthony Idol, Honest John, whoever that we want to do, whoever we want to fight, wherever we want to go, whoever is smart enough to sign a matchup with any or all of those individuals, you get Howdy Price with it. That's a heck of a deal. And honestly, you're going to get your television ratings up. You're going to get your merchandise sales up. You're going to get your attendance numbers up if you're allowed to get them back in. And let me tell you, again and again, if you want a great deal, come say howdy. That is to it. Whether it be All Elite, National Wrestling, Impact, a Ring of Honor, wherever you want to go, wherever you want us to go, we'll go. You just got to get that paper.
And definitely, if any promotions named are watching this, get that paper and get Howdy Price there. And also, we're almost wrapping up, but the last question, if you could give if anyone listening that wants to be a manager, what tips can you give to them that want to be a manager?
There is a way to make it about yourself by making it about your client. You could cut a promo, you could talk about yourself all you want. But the thing is, though, you need to get your client over. You need to sell. You need to sell in order for people to buy. And I mean, you just present, we're the best people that we can offer. And yeah, that's because I manage them. Nope. Nope. What is that? I swear, that is so plain. That's like vanilla water. That's how plain that is. And so you need to get the people excited to see you, whether they want to wring your neck or shake your hand. You need to do the history. You need to do the research. You need to realize when is a good time to encourage your wrestler when the referee is not looking, because they tend to not like it when you talk to them or whisper in their ear or anything else. So there's ways to do about this. You just need to do the research, and you need to be confident in yourself, and you're going to have your doubts. But the thing is, though, is that if you see a big steaming cow pie in front of you, you can either just step in it and stay there, or you can just walk around it. So just believe in yourself, believe in your clients, believe in what you have to offer, and you'll do fine. Don't be like everybody else. Be you. I mean, it'd be kind of weird, just like Raven or something. That'd be just kind of strange. He was already through that era in the 2000s.
Another thing I want to ask Howdy, if there's a wrestler now watching us that wants to be managed by Howdy Price, what qualifications do they have to have in order to be a client of yours?
Well, for starters, be smart enough to contact Howdy Price. Be smart enough to let your promoter know, hey, I want to be represented by this individual. We need to do whatever we need to do to get the paperwork going. And most importantly, pay the legendary price for Howdy Price to come out there. What that price may be is, well, let's see what you think that legendary price is. So.
Awesome.
Awesome. And once again, thank you so much for taking the time. It was so much fun talking to you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all both having me on here. It was a lot of fun, and I always appreciate talking about me.
Well, it's an honor to have you on. Is there anything you want to give a message to the fans out there? Anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, I mean, watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. That's how you can watch old Howdy Price and the Price Check Ranch representatives and the gold holders. You can follow me on the Twitter at Price Howdy. And then I'm also on the Instagram of Come Say Howdy. That's COME_say_howdy. I try to post there all the time. I recently did a modeling photo shoot. I look pretty. And so if you follow now, you'll be able to see them when they get dropped.
Awesome. Don't forget to watch Howdy Price on Champions from Hollywood on KDOC and Fight TV. Again, Howdy, awesome talking to you, man. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I hope y'all have a great day.
You too. And thank you so much for everyone listening out there. This has been Championship Online Podcast. So we'll see you guys next time.
Howdy.